Hi. So we got a bunch of slides to go through. I like to start every time I do a workshop or teach with intentions. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you have no idea. Raise your hand if you do have an idea. We have one person listening. So I'm going to talk about hybrid photography, or hybrid shooting. Hybrid photography is film and digital. Hybrid shooting though. For me, I have intentions today. I would like to share two things. Number one, why I do what I do. And then number two, how I do it. So I'm going to tell you, I'm literally just going to show you exactly how I do it. It's not too complicated. If you don't know what you're doing, sometimes it's intimidating, or at least if you know how to do it, one day when you decide maybe it's something you want to try or do, then you kind of have a place to start. So I have rules. Please ask questions. I like that. This isn't like a presentation per se, so I like it to be interactive. If you have any questions at any time, I'll answer them or tell you if I'm going to answer them later. And then if you don't understand something, I can skip over things that are important or things that I just take for granted that or assume you guys might know. But we can, there's no dumb questions, and I'll just go over anything you guys want to know. This is a workshop. I named it Hybrid Shooting, How to Use Photo and Video to Tell Stories. Okay? But first, a little about me. I'm a photographer. Allison did a really good introduction, so this will be pretty much just retelling you that. So this is my family. A lot of what I do is based on my values. So if you feel stagnant in what you're doing in your business, if you feel like you're in a creative rut, that's a lot of the time how it can come out. A really good thing to do is just go back to who you are as a person. We're all entrepreneurs because we have to be to run a business. And sometimes you can just get detached from why you started doing what you do in the first place. This is part of my story. So my wife, Crystal, she's here today. We've been married 12 and a half years. And my three kids. So Roxy's in the middle, Jet, and Lucy's 3. So 10, 7, and 3. We live in Saskatoon, and they are really important to me. They make my life better. This is a photo of me in my studio. I have a studio here. I do photography full time. And I do a lot of different services. So I do weddings and family photography, but I also do corporate work, and we actually do a lot of video work. Lots of stuff with brands like Co-op. I spent 3 days shooting patio furniture for Co-op for their April flyers last month. So things like that. So I do a lot of things to pay the bills. That's a job that's a little more challenging creatively. Let's put patio furniture, if you can imagine. It doesn't totally fit in my values, but I still do it. And then in my studio, I have a printer. I love printing. Everything in my studio I printed myself. Here is my theater place. I have a projector screen on the wall over there. It's a place where we work, and then I also show my clients what I create for them. So what is hybrid shooting? Does everybody even know what that is? Have you heard of it?
Is that video and photo at the same time?
Yeah, so using video and photo is pretty much boils it down into a very basic sort of description. I've loved video for my whole life. Before I was even thought of being a photographer, I used to make videos with the camcorder my dad bought. I love using just anything creative. I like to play around with digital media. I didn't really like film photography. I did it in high school. It wasn't bad. It wasn't something I really liked, but I really liked when things went digital. I loved playing on a computer. If you guys remember iMovie when it came out on it was the original IMAX. Do you remember? They're white, and then they had a colored back, blue or orange or whatever. Our school had a few of those, and those were that was really cool to me, to take one of those Sony camcorders, put the tape in, plug it in the computer, and that was really cool for me. So I've liked video for a long time. I'll show you a few examples today, but I go on photo shoots and I take photographs and I take video clips, and then I have a keepsake film at the end along with the photos. We'll go through why I do that in a little bit. Have any of you tried video before? In any capacity? On a DSLR? Yeah? So if you've done video, it's different than photography, but I think a lot of things about photography really lend themselves to doing really good video. When I meet a videographer, they think differently than I do, And I have a lot of advantages, I think, when it comes to, like, especially shooting weddings. I shoot a lot of ambient light. Like, I can do an interview with ambient light, and a lot of videographers will be like, oh, I don't know, like, that's scary. We need big lights and scrims and stuff. And I'm like, no, we can get really good light right out of just ambient.